Tonight on CTV News at 6. She was almost home.
They exited the school bus safely. It was 30 or 40 meters away on private property when the collision occurred.
A 6-year-old girl is killed in Sudbury. They are on a provincial tour.
We've heard that upwards of 70% of hospitals provincially in the fiscal year ending in March are going to be in a deficit position.
Two groups are sounding the alarm over the funding crisis at Ontario hospitals. And pack your patience.
You know, by the time we get through this project, we'll be able to go from one end to the other without hitting any potholes or, unfavorable asphalt conditions.
Officials with the city of Timmins are issuing a note to drivers.
CTV News at 6 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Glad you're with us on this Wednesday. A heartbreaking story out of Sudbury. Police have confirmed the age of the child who was struck and killed by a vehicle yesterday. CTV's Madison Merrier has the details.
Police say a 6-year-old girl was walking in this neighborhood when she was struck and killed by a vehicle.
What we do know is that they were walking on private property after exiting a school bus. They exited the school bus safely. It was 30 or 40 meters away on private property when the collision occurred.
Emergency services responded just before 3:30 p.m. Tuesday when kids were getting off the bus. According to eyewitnesses, many families saw the collision.
For safety reasons, I think we just have to be cognizant of the time of day. This is a time where there's children getting off school buses. It's after school. So any area that we, that people know where there's a lot of activity, just be very careful when we're driving in those areas.
Community members placed flowers and gifts to remember the little girl.
I really hate seeing something happen to somebody so young, and it's just ridiculous that happened.
Police say the driver of the vehicle remained at the scene. They add charges could be laid.
We're encouraging witnesses, if there are witnesses, to come forward, and also if there's any video or dash cam footage in the area at the time.
Sergeant Ramsey says police are applying for a search warrant and that this remains an active investigation. Madison Merrier, CTV News, Sudbury.
About 130 education workers rallied in front of the Northeastern Catholic District School Board today in Timmins.
Hey, hey! Oh, oh! All the cats have got to go!
The group includes registered early childhood educators, regulated health workers, paraprofessionals, and lunch monitors, and are bargaining their first collective agreement. Representatives from CUPE Locals 4681 and 468102 say this follows ongoing talks with the Ministry of Labour that issued a no-board report last Wednesday, starting a 17-day countdown before a legal strike or lockout position. The union says the board is looking for concessions on benefits and vacation time. Members voted 95% in favor of a strike.
I don't understand why anybody's offering concessions at the table. It's going to impact these workers. At a time when our schools are already struggling at recruiting and retaining qualified employees, they're offering concessions. It doesn't make it for a very viable workplace. These workers don't want to go on strike. They don't want to have a lockout. They want to remain at work, working with these students that they've developed relationships with, they create safe space for. They help with their student success on a daily basis. They want to stay here and work. They want the board to come back and negotiate a fair first collective agreement without concessions.
The Northeastern Catholic District School Board says it remains committed to reaching a fair local agreement and denies threatening a lockout. It says it has requested a no-board report to support mediation and is optimistic a resolution can be reached. A project that aims to offer affordable transitional housing for Indigenous people in Sault Ste. Marie received its official start this morning. Officials from Missinaba Cree First Nation and the federal government turned the ceremonial soil. The former Catalina Motel is in the midst of being transformed into a 33-bed transitional housing facility. The project by Missinaba Cree comes in part due to a nearly $13 million investment from the federal government. The aim of the facility is to be a home away from home for Missinaba band members as they work toward new housing goals.
We're worried about our community members going from a space that that they may have some challenges being moving into transition and then moving into permanent housing. So I mean, it's sort of a go between spaces that they may not be safe into a permanent house.
We need a mix of housing, from every single different level that people can, call a home. And it's known for a fact that people cannot be successful. Our economy will not be successful. Our society will not be successful. Our community will not be successful when you have people that are homeless or facing homelessness. It's the right thing to do.
And timelines for the project are ambitious, with goals of opening before the end of next year. Representatives from the Canadian Centre for Policy Alternatives and the Ontario Council of Hospital Unions are on a provincial tour. They are highlighting recent findings when it comes to the funding crisis in hospitals across the province. CTV's Lindsay Illick has more from Sudbury.
The report is titled Failure by Design, Ontario's Deepening Hospital Funding Crisis.
We've heard that upwards of 70% of hospitals provincially in the fiscal year ending in March are going to be in a deficit position. So we're seeing a compounding of these deficits and the provincial underfunding. When we see a gap of what the costs are in hospitals at about 6%, rising 6% each year, versus what the provincial government is funding them at, which is up to 4%.
The report also highlights the increase in wait times for patients, and that specifically HSN in Sudbury has seen over a 5-year period 90% of patients having their initial assessment in Emerge go from 2.7 hours to 7 hours.
This is not to say that frontline healthcare workers and HSN aren't doing their very best, but they are working with constraints in provincial funding.
CTV News reached out to the Ministry of Health for comment and was told that the claims made in the report are misguided, saying the government has invested over $100 billion this year alone, including a 4% increase in the hospital sector for the 4th consecutive year to connect people to the care they need when they need it. The ministry adding Health Sciences North funding has increased 44% since 2018.
We need to see funding of $3.2 billion spread across Ontario's hospital system to stabilize hospital finances. In addition, we need to see a health workforce strategy that ensures that the provincial government can help support recruitment and retention.
According to the report, the Financial Accountability Office of Ontario estimates that $6.4 billion in new healthcare spending is required in 2026-27 just to maintain last year's service levels. Budget 2026 only adds about half that, leaving the healthcare system short by $3 billion in this fiscal year. Lindsay Illick, CTV News, Sudbury.
Okay, it's time for our first check on weather. The temperature has certainly fallen. Here's CTV's Rick Wyman to tell us about some frost warnings overnight. Rick?
As issued by Environment Canada, this is what we've got going across northeastern Ontario. So again, temperatures dropping and wind chill will also come into play. For instance, -3 in Sudbury, -8 with that wind chill. Let's see how the systems are tracking according to Environment Canada as well. We've got that system moving in. No appreciable hint of precipitation for the next couple of days, but Saturday, Sunday, Monday, different story. We'll take a look at the 7-day forecast in just a couple of minutes, a little bit later on, and your current temperatures coming at you next, Tony. Back to you.
Thanks for that, Rick. It's getting a facelift over the next couple of years. Still to come on CTV News at $6 million in repairs going to be made to the airport in Timmins. Right now, we're heading to downtown Timmins. This live webcam is of Algonquin Boulevard East. It's courtesy of the city. It's 4 degrees. We're back in a few minutes.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Drivers in Timmins are being told to expect delays as construction season gets underway. Several projects are planned along Highway 101, including work on Riverside Drive, Algonquin Boulevard, and the East End's connecting link. City officials say the goal is to improve road conditions and reduce problems like potholes, but drivers will need extra patience at some intersections such as Brunet Road and Highway 655. Business owners who attended a public information session today say they wanted reassurance that access to their stores would remain open during construction.
You know, by the time we get through this project, we'll be able to go from one end to the other without hitting any potholes or, unfavorable asphalt conditions.
One of my biggest concerns is the medians that was put in at the Porcupine Mall and at Northern College. To me, they're like a couple hundred yards apart and two different designs altogether. So if somebody is to go down there and turning at the Porcupine Mall, you'd see how that's set up. Then you go towards a college and that median is set up altogether differently.
Well, I wanted to come out and find out and make sure there was going to be no road closures while our business was open and running. We just wanted to make sure we had access at all times so that we could maintain guest flow.
City officials say you can expect construction to continue until October. A report to City Council in North Bay says the Steve Omischel Sports Complex is on time and on budget. Workers are putting the finishing touches on the $63 million project. According to the project's manager's report, work on the interior is expected to be completed between June and August, with the formal completion date August 12th. The Twin Pad Arena and Recreation Center also includes a walking track, community room, and dressing rooms to support both indoor and outdoor sports. Timmins Council has approved more than $3.3 million in upgrades to the Victor M. Power Airport. The improvements will include an addition to the departure lounge, renovations to the security screening area, and updating the airport's front facade. Council calls it a proactive investment and says it will help reduce future maintenance costs on a critical municipal asset. The work is based on the recommendations from the airport master plan. Construction timelines have not been set. A celebration for the reopening of a unique Sioux Education Institute took place today. The St. Kateri Outdoor Learning Center has been challenging traditional learning for more than half a century. With high demand, the Huron-Superior Catholic District School Board made the decision to expand the facility, adding on a new classroom, outdoor washrooms, and accessibility upgrades, among a number of renovations. In total, $1.8 million was spent, allowing the board to keep up with the many young learners eager to get outdoors for their education.
We had greater interest for the elementary program, so we had to increase student enrollment in that, so we needed to open another class. In addition, we had demand from our elementary schools where teachers were saying, that one day isn't enough. I want to come here more.
I grew up in the country and, on the farm and stuff. There's book smart and there's common sense smart, and sometimes the two intertwine, but sometimes you have to learn them separately, and later on in life, then you realize how important it is. It's a great thing to learn about how nature can provide, what that nature can provide us, right?
Last school year, the board used portables and other outdoor amenities for teachings at the center. This school year, students have had full access to the new space. Timmins has designated the H.R. Bielig Building and Timmins Transit Terminal as properties of cultural heritage value or interest. The H.R. Bielig Building was built in the 1930s as a movie theater, and many of its original architectural and facade elements maintain the building's original craftsmanship. The transit terminal was built in 1916, playing a significant role in passenger rail in the north and supporting mining and development of the region. Today, the Sudbury Food Bank hosted its Spring Give, an initiative that provides money to area food banks and partner agencies to keep meeting the growing need. It also launched a new way for people to give food. CTV's Alan Everson reports.
Redeemer St. Alphonsus.
The Sudbury Food Bank hands out checks to 32 area food banks and partner agencies to help meet the need as the number of people living with food insecurity continues to rise.
Needing help from somebody else is not easy to ask for, so being treated fairly and with dignity by our member agencies makes all the difference in the world. It has a huge impact on the people that need help.
The food bank also held a volunteer appreciation barbecue for the hundreds of people who keep the 22 food banks going across Greater Sudbury.
I mean, that's exactly what makes the food banks work, right? If it wasn't for all of our volunteers and our staff, I mean, the food bank wouldn't be running. So whether it's sorting, distributing, all of the collecting, all of the things that our volunteers do each and every day to make the food bank run.
At the Spring Give, the Sudbury Food Bank unveiled a new way to donate on the Amazon wish list.
This time of year especially, we're seeing the warehouse being really empty, and I think that this wish list will be an opportunity for us to have an influx of food coming back into the warehouse and making it a fun way, and also taking the guesswork out of it from folks that want to help out and they're not sure what we need. The Amazon wish list is the perfect thing for you because you'll be able to pick different price points of options.
Officials say within the Sudbury Food Bank system, they saw 576 new users in the first quarter of 2026 alone, highlighting the growing pressures facing individuals and families across our communities. Alana Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
Okay, back now for a check on your current conditions. Here's Rick.
We've got a cool one going on this evening, Tony. It's not bad, but it's not the warmest that we've seen. Our forecast radar from Environment Canada. Really no precipitation for the next couple of days, but let's check out and see what we've got going this evening at this time. Moose and East, some overcast conditions at 3. Cochrane, mainly cloudy at 2. Mainly cloudy in Timmins at 4. Also the same for Kapuskasing at 3. So temperatures fairly consistent. Sunshine in Chapleau at 6. Wawa 5 with the sun. Sault Ste. Marie 4 degrees with sunshine. Meanwhile, Parry Sound, nice night, 11. Heading down Highway 69 in North Bay, we've got sun and cloud at 12. Sun and cloud at 9 in Temiskaming Shores, and sun and cloud at 6 at Kirkland Lake. Greater Sudbury, sun and cloud 13. 13's across the board here. 13 Espanola, 13 Elliott Lake, and Gore Bay at 11. Tony, your 7-day forecast, and of course the pick of the day, all coming up just minutes away.
Thanks, Rick. High-level meeting next on CTV News at 6. Prime Minister Mark Carney meets with BC's Premier as they talk politics and a pipeline. And the Timmins Fire Department is going door to door to ensure families have working smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. The Prime Minister met British Columbia's Premier David Eby today to talk national priorities, including a West Coast pipeline. Eby voiced his concerns about Canada not working if separatist premiers get all the attention. CTV's Mike LeCouture has more on the meeting.
The Prime Minister is a friend to British Columbia.
BC's Premier struck a friendlier tone standing next to Prime Minister Mark Carney. It came a day after David Eby said Canada won't work if separatist premiers get all the attention, a reference to Alberta and Ottawa moving forward on the plan for a bitumen pipeline to the West Coast.
Developing our economy has to go hand in hand with environmental protection for the next generation, including the North Coast tanker ban. That is crucially important for British Columbians.
Carney pointed out 1/3 of the projects identified as in the national interest are in BC, and that the two leaders are on the same page. But an hour earlier at the Vancouver Board of Trade, Carney made it clear he's looking for partners, not pushback.
We don't want to hear what people are against. We want to hear what they're for. And if you're for something, we will get behind it.
Carney's challenge is to try and sell that message while balancing the competing interests of each province.
I think what he's doing is he's saying, look, we are going to establish rules that will propel forward major projects, create jobs, and generate benefits for each province, for each part of the country.
A part of that balance includes working with provinces like Saskatchewan to apply the industrial carbon tax. While Premier Moe refuses to collect the levy, he's open to discussions on it.
To see if we can come to some type of an agreement that works for industry and doesn't impact negatively the industries that are creating jobs and making investments just like this in this province.
Carney and Eby agreed to start negotiations on BC's economic priorities. However, the Prime Minister also told that Vancouver business crowd if things get stalled there, his government will spend time in the rest of the country because they need to move forward. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
The Winnipeg Police Service is announcing the largest drug bust in Manitoba history today.
What you accomplished here today, it matters to the safety of our communities and to families right across Manitoba. Most importantly, it matters because it sends a very clear message that organized crime will not operate unchecked in this province, and we are not open for business to organized crime.
The estimated street value of the seized drugs is over $37 million. 33 people were arrested in the bus called Project Puma. The operation reportedly spanned 2 years with the goal of dismantling drug networks while gathering evidence on high-level members of criminal organizations. The U.S. has officially charged the former dictator of Cuba, Raul Castro, brother of Fidel Castro, over a fatal attack on 2 planes in 1996 in which American citizens were killed.
Charging Raul Castro and several others with conspiracy to kill U.S. nationals.
5 co-defendants and the now 94-year-old Castro are also charged with the destruction of an aircraft and 4 additional counts of murder. 30 years ago, Cuban military jets shot down 2 civilian planes operated by Cuban exiles. 4 people were killed. Raul Castro was the Armed Forces Minister at the time. The charges come as the U.S. ramps up pressure to take over Havana. Officials with the World Health Organization now say the Ebola outbreak in Congo and Uganda likely started a couple of months ago, with the violence and displacement in the region making it particularly vulnerable.
And displacement means not only displacement of the population, but of course including the health workers. And health facilities cannot work optimally when there is conflict, and when the health workers are also fleeing as part of course, the community which is displaced.
The outbreak has alarmed health officials because it spread for weeks undetected. The WHO says 2 possible vaccines are being considered for the strain of Ebola, which is suspected to have killed more than 130 people. Any vaccine would take 3 to 9 months to develop and need clinical trials. There are more than 600 suspected cases. Canada's Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand says Ottawa is monitoring the spread of Ebola very closely.
At this time, Global Affairs Canada is not aware of any Canadians affected by the Ebola virus outbreak in the DRC or Uganda. Consular officials are standing ready to provide assistance to those who are requesting it. I will say also that on May 15th, the Public Health Agency of Canada did publish a level 2 travel health notice.
The federal government is advising Canadians not to travel to the parts of the DRC hit hardest by Ebola. And there's more news still ahead, but first, here's your full weather forecast with Rick.
Environment Canada issuing really a frost warning right across the Northeast, with the exception of Timmins for this evening. So please keep that in mind. Cover up those plants or put them in the shed. Just look after them. Forecast radar, here we go. No appreciation really over the course of the next couple of days. We've got some sunshine and some warmer temperatures, and I'm sure you'll appreciate that, but then we've got some rain coming up on the weekend. Let's have a look now at our overnight perspective. Sudbury, we got clearing at -3. Sault Ste. Marie clear at 0. Timmins -3, cloudy. Partly cloudy. Temiskaming Shores -3, and North Bay -1 and clearing. Elsewhere, we've got chance of showers in Moosonee -4, -2, Caphurst, cloudy skies. Few clouds in Wawa -1, Gore Bay 2 and clear, and a few clouds, Parry Sound and 0. Sudbury Nickel Belt, sunshine for a couple of days as I promised. 14 and 20 your daytime highs. Chance of showers for 3 consecutive days at 16, 13 and 22. Warming up Monday, even better Tuesday, 23 and sunshine. How about the Sioux and Algoma? Sunny skies for a couple of days, 13, 18. Chance of showers Saturday, Sunday, Monday, just like Sudbury, 14, 17, 21. And Tuesday, 24, sun and cloud. That's above normal. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, cloudy skies for tomorrow and Saturday, but in between, sunshine on Friday at 20. Chance of showers Sunday, Monday at 60 and 30%, 16 and 21 your daytime highs. Tuesday, a very nice 23 with the sun and cloud, and that is way above normal for this time of the year. Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake, mainly sunny tomorrow at 13, 20 on Friday with sunshine. Chance of showers Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, 19, 13, and 22. Warming up, even better on Tuesday, 23 with the sun and cloud, again above normal, which is 19 for this time of the year. Then there's North Bay and West Nipissing. Sunny skies for a couple of days. I like that. Thursday, Friday at 14 and 19. Wet Saturday, Sunday, Monday with a chance of showers. You've got 30% on Saturday and Monday, 60%, a pretty good bet there on Sunday, 17, 15, and 21. And Tuesday, we've got sunny skies and 23, which is the way it should be, even though that temperature is above normal. Lillian Pakula, please roll the pics of the day, if you will. Here we go. You'll love this one. From Elliott Lake, Texas, Tom. The evening grosbeaks having a feeding frenzy. I guess they are hungry at this time of the year. Texas, thanks so much for that. I've been to Texas, just a great state. Hey, stick around. Coming up after the break, we're talking serious games at Cambrian College on tonight's Ask an Expert. Welcome to the world of serious games on Ask an Expert for this evening. Of course, video games with a purpose to improve health, industry, and education. Aaron Langille is my guest. He teaches game design here at Cambrian College, of course, and starting this September, there's a new program. It's called Serious Games, and of course, it's going to be involving new students, new identity, new programs. We're going to find out more about Serious Games. Aaron, thanks for doing this. What's it all about in terms of the definition of serious games to begin with?
Serious games is a fun term that people like to mix and match because you've got the fun of games and the seriousness going on, so people are often confused. And a serious game is basically a game or game-like experience that has a different purpose than regular games. Microsoft Flight Simulator is an excellent example that was so complex as a game, as a simulation, that people were actually learning the basics of aviation.
How effective are serious games in terms of health, education, and industry?
It really depends on exactly what the application is. You know, when one of the things that students learn when they take a program like the Serious Game grad certificate is how to measure that effectiveness. They can be really effective, and if they're designed not as well, they can be less effective. So part of our goal with the program is to teach students how to increase that effectiveness, how to maximize it, so that when people contract for a serious game, they're getting their money's worth and things like that.
What are some of the other applications of serious games as you can outline in the program?
Yeah, both designing them can be a lot of fun and using them can be a lot of fun. So again, depending on the application, we might take a really serious route. So we could call those super serious games if we want, where we take all the fun out entirely. Or sometimes the fun part of a game is the serious part. And I know that sounds a little bit weird, but again, if I'm trying to motivate somebody to do something really tedious and really boring by adding a bit of fun, which is something we do in game design all the time, we can make that task more effective, or we can make the person doing that task more effective.
Okay, it starts in September. How many students do you have lined up, or are there still openings if people want to know more and perhaps talk to you?
Absolutely. We have students that are already in the system, not sure how many just yet, but absolutely applications will be open up until the program starts. So there's lots of ways to enter the program as well. You don't have to come from a game design background. We'll take care of that. So the only thing that is helpful is to have a bit of coding experience, but if you are coming from a different degree, a different diploma, a different institution, that's no problem. We've got you covered. That's what we're here to do.
Thanks for doing this and enlightening us after all. It should be an exciting and learning experience beginning this fall.
No problem. Thank you.
Aaron, of course, teaches game design here at Cambrian College. For more information, give him a call here at the college. And once again, for more information on tonight's segment, CTV News Northern Ontario.ca.
Shopping online and having packages delivered is part of our lives now. Amazon ships more than 1 million packages in Canada each day. Most items arrive at your door without any problems. But what if you have a delivery that goes off track? CTV's Pat Foran has details.
So the whole yard was torn up.
David Crory and Neil Thompson have a home in Stony Creek. This is what their lawn looks like now, but back in March, a delivery driver missed their driveway and ended up getting stuck in their front yard, leaving massive ruts behind.
When we pulled into the driveway, it looked like there had been a monster truck rally on our property. We had a Amazon delivery gone wrong.
Thompson says they were shocked by what they saw, especially since they put in a new driveway last year and had the entire area landscaped with fresh sod.
It starts at the beginning of the driveway and it goes for 100 feet, and it's anywhere from 8 to 12 feet wide.
The delivery driver didn't leave a note, but a neighbor who saw what was happening snapped a photo. Even though they ordered from Amazon, their package was dropped off by a different company.
One of my drivers did the damage. And he says, don't worry about it. We've called Amazon. They'll take care of it.
Amazon Canada told CTV News the driver is a delivery associate, not an Amazon employee or independent contractor. We've apologized to the customer, and the delivery partner is working directly with them to resolve the matter. Crory and Thompson say they've had to deal with an insurance company in New Jersey. They got 2 estimates to repair the damage. The lowest came in at $3,900. The insurance company countered with a repair offer of $1,200 and said that's the most it's willing to pay.
I think the goal is they just want the customers to sit back and accept what they're giving us. And it's just not right. Just not right. So we want Amazon to pay the full price.
Both sides remain at a stalemate, and now Crory and Thompson have contacted their home insurance company. They don't want to make a claim, but do want their property restored to the way it was before their delivery gone wrong. Pat Foran, CTV News.
Different places, different risks. That's the headline of a Stats Canada report on breast cancer. Many women in rural areas or in regions with large immigrant and racialized populations are slipping through the cracks. CTV's Jean-Pierre Beauchemin looks at the data and the recommendations.
Patricia Russell calls Brampton, Ontario, home, and she's survived breast cancer twice. 2 diagnoses 13 years apart.
It just felt like a kick in the stomach when I was diagnosed. It was it was a high time in my life. And the doctor told me that you have the bad kind.
It's triple negative, an aggressive subtype. She says she received excellent care. A new study found geography tells the story when it comes to breast cancer risk, mortality, and experts say care. Statistics Canada found the incidence of breast cancer is highest in rural regions of Quebec, Ontario, and the prairies, but also in some urban centres with large immigrant and racialized populations. In contrast, fewer women face a diagnosis in large metropolitan centres like Montreal, Toronto, and Vancouver, as well as in northern and remote regions.
Having access to data like this is really just so crucial for decision makers and policymakers to have a better understanding of where resources are really needed. So this really does bear out the fact that in many communities outside of the big urban centers, there is that lack of access to being able to book an easy appointment with for a mammogram.
The study also found where you live impacts the risk of dying from breast cancer differently. It's highest in rural eastern regions, lowest in large urban centers where there's better access to treatment and follow-up care. Russell is now doing well and a tireless advocate helping other women through a support group.
I'm very aware and I'm very conscious and passionate about educating, especially women in the Black community, because we tend to not take care of ourselves the way that we need to.
She's also pushing for removing as many barriers to care as possible, no matter where home is. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
People in Greater Sudbury really love their cookies. Still ahead on CTV News at 6. It's in support of 3 charities. Tim Horton's Smile Cookie campaign is another resounding success. The first students from Ontario colleges in a new standalone Bachelor of Science in Nursing program are soon going to be graduating. Canadore is one of the colleges in the north offering the nursing degree program. CTV's Eric Tashner caught up with some of the students.
Nursing students Samuel Ranger and Megan LaVictoire are spending one of their final times in this lab. before receiving their degree.
I did my preceptorship out in Ottawa, so the goal is hopefully to move to Ottawa and get a job in the Emerge down there.
They both enrolled in nursing at Canadore. The school launched its inaugural 4-year standalone Bachelor of Science nursing degree in fall 2022.
I had done a co-op as a pharmacy assistant, always kind of knowing I wanted to do something in the healthcare field.
The Ontario Ministry of Colleges and Universities partnered with several colleges, including Canadore, to offer the degree program with a goal of training and retaining more nurses to fill gaps at hospitals and long-term care homes.
I think it's great. I mean, everybody got their money's worth in this one. This is a win-win-win all around.
Canadore's enhanced nursing program also includes a 3-year bridging practical nursing to the Bachelor of Science program, which La Victoire took.
I was given the opportunity of clinical placement, and then as well as in the RN program, I was given 6 semesters of clinical placement, so a lot of experience.
The college has been training nurses for more than 30 years. And faculty within the nursing undergraduate program helped construct the hands-on curriculum.
Vital signs, just bedside care, running IV pumps, doing our feeds, learning how to read telemetry.
We start their clinical opportunities right in the first semester, which is different than other nursing programs that might not start them until their second or third year.
Canadore is hoping to expand its new nursing program. It's working with the province and placement locations so students get the best possible education. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
The Timmins Fire Department is kicking off its door-to-door campaign to help ensure residents have working smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. The campaign begins today and will see crews visiting homes from now until October. Ontario's fire code requires working smoke detectors on every floor of a dwelling and CO detectors on every floor of homes with fuel-burning appliances. Crews in Sault Ste. Marie are also starting their door-to-door campaign tonight. Representatives from 3 Sudbury charities had a lot to smile about today when the results of a sweet fundraiser were announced. Totals from the recent Smile Cookie campaign in Greater Sudbury were presented to 3 charity recipients. Those are the Health Sciences North Foundation, the Sudbury Food Bank, and the CTV Lions Children's Christmas Telethon. The money was raised from the sale of Smile Cookies at more than 24 Tim Hortons restaurants across the city.
The wonderful funds that we raise through Smile Cookie campaign will assist in priority equipment that we need at the hospital. So in the past, we've had money going towards MRI, PET scanners, and various programs that are priority items at the hospital.
This time of the year, our warehouse is looking pretty empty, especially after the Edgar Burton food drive, and that's our big push for the end of the year, obviously. But any kind of influx of money like this is always very helpful.
Without the Tim Hortons Smile Cookies and the owners of Tim Hortons Smile Cookies, we cannot make the telethon. At least 30% of the money comes to the telethon. It's from the Smile Cookies in Sudbury. Sudburian, thank you so much for supporting us, supporting the telethon and any other organization in the Sudbury area.
And more than $218,000 was raised in Greater Sudbury. Wikwemikong Tribal Police Service is going to welcome a special guest to the island in just a few weeks. The Ontario Provincial Police Golden Helmets Precision Motorcycle Team will be making a special appearance in Wikwemikong unceded territory June 4th. The event is taking place in front of the arena and is going to feature a 30-minute performance by the Golden Helmets, which is free to the public. A Sudbury High School is inviting audiences to follow the Yellow Brick Road as students present a unique adaptation of a timeless classic. Students at LaSalle Secondary School are putting the final touches on Somewhere Over the Rainbow. While it follows the traditional story of The Wizard of Oz, this adaptation has a major twist. It's not a musical. From acting to set design and stage management, the production has been a months-long collaborative effort.
We started painting it in early February, just painting over the last set,
and we've only just finished about last week, so months of work.
She's a super fun character to play. I like the aspects of her and everything, how she's trying to navigate through Kansas and find her way home with her best friend Toto.
This is actually my last production with LaSalle, so it's very bittersweet, but I'm just so excited to put on this amazing show because I helped write it and adapt it, so getting to see like this whole work like come to life, it's amazing.
It's amazing to see young people do what they do best. Young people have not always the best rep in society, and it's amazing to see the best in them come out as they find their creative side and they use it to create magic.
And the play will run from Thursday, May 28th to Saturday, May 30th at LaSalle Secondary School. Tickets can be purchased online or at the door. A cell phone number brings an unlikely pair together, and a music legend hits a birthday milestone. Here's Rick Damigella with the Hollywood Report.
I have this fantasy that someone's gonna come and sit down next to me, like I'm Meg Ryan. We lock eyes, then it happens.
An unexpected romance. Zoe Deutsch meets the man who takes over her sister's phone number after she passes away in Voicemails for Isabel. Nick Robinson plays the unlikely suitor in the upcoming rom-com, which lands on Netflix on June 19th.
Give my creation life!
Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein gets a new life. FX has reportedly picked up a new comedy based on the 1974 film. Zach Galifianakis stars in the reimagining, which plans to be a completely original take on the Gene Wilder classic.
You know what, dude? I'm going to be here when you're no longer working.
Cher turns 80. The legendary singer celebrates the milestone birthday May 20th. Cher first hit it big in Hollywood over 5 decades ago and is still going strong, most recently releasing a Christmas album and best-selling memoir. In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
A federal agency is reporting an increase in complaints about something called maple washing. It's when retailers and producers try to make their products appear to be 100% Canadian made or grown to appeal to the growing Buy Canadian movement. More now from CTV's Abigail Beeman.
Do you tend to look for origin on what you buy?
Yes, I do. I try to get Canadian.
Trade tensions with the U.S. have many shoppers looking to buy Canadian where possible, and they tell us they don't appreciate attempts to maple wash.
People are trying to sort of vote with their dollars when it comes to what they want international policy to be.
It's not fair. It's not right. I want to know where it's coming from.
The Canadian Food Inspection Agency says complaints about maple washing are on the rise, 400 since the start of 2025 when the trade war heated up.
Classic situations of false representations or misleading advertising.
Joey Zukran is one of the lawyers behind a yet-to-be-certified class action lawsuit taking aim at a string of stores with examples like a maple leaf beside a can of soup that says product of USA and tomatoes advertised as a product of Canada that say product of Mexico.
The allegations in the lawsuit are clear that this was done to attract or touch on the sensitivity that many Canadians have shopping, especially in these times.
Not all products at Canadian grocery stores are even required to have their country of origin listed. There's no official logo for Made in Canada, and according to the CFIA's own website, a maple leaf on a product doesn't necessarily mean it's Canadian.
We need stronger penalties. We need greater enforcement.
In addition to consumer confusion, this entrepreneur lecturer says maple washing is unfair to Canadian suppliers who can lose business in the process.
Some kind of a certification mechanism would help.
Of the big retailers, only Sobeys and Loblaw responded to a CTV News request by deadline. Both acknowledged some isolated incidents they say they worked quickly to fix. Loblaw companies were slapped with 2 of the 7 fines the CFIA handed out. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
The latest Canadian product to come under fire from U.S. tariffs is mushrooms.
40% of the mushrooms in Canada are shipped to the U.S. And so what's going to happen as tariffs increase going to the U.S., it may keep more mushrooms within Canada, which then it would flood our market.
Starting this week, Canadian-grown mushrooms will face tariffs of up to 5%. A U.S. Department of Commerce investigation cited unfair government support. The Canadian industry calls the decision deeply flawed. Separate anti-dumping duties are also expected later this month. The Canadian mushroom industry plans to fight the new tariffs, but says many farmers may need to cut production, which could lead to lost jobs. And here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up 1 cent to 73 cents. West Texas Intermediate is down 5.89 to 98.26. Western Canadian Select is down 45 cents to 83.32. And the TSX gained more than 429 points today, now sitting at 34,161.82. And here are the current prices for some key commodities we watch. Gold up $53.51, closing the day at $45.38.57 US an ounce. Silver up $1.55 to end the day at $75.42. Copper moved forward a penny, and nickel up 8 cents, ending the day at $8.47 US a pound. And Rick is back now for one last look at your Thursday weather.
We've got sunshine in the forecast after a night with, risk of frost across the Northeast. Let's check out some of these temperatures. Greater Sudbury tomorrow, 14 with the sun. Overcast conditions in Timmins, but 15 degrees. Sault Ste. Marie, sunny skies, and 13. How about North Bay, 14 with the sunshine, 14 again in Parry Sound, and 13 mainly sunny skies. Sun and cloud, the odd cloudy break. But again, Tony, a nice day Friday. Then we have some precipitation moving in on, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Back to you.
Thanks, Rick. Hallelujah. And folks, that's CTV News at 6. I'm Tony Ryma. Thanks so much for watching. More news comes your way at 11:30 with Ian Campbell. Good night.